Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we're looking forward to today is our speaker. Because our wonderful Reverend Mary Garry is one of these people that when you meet her, you just love her. You just feel like, I like this lady. She's got a lot going on and it feels really positive.
Happened to me.
That happened to her husband a long time ago. And that's a whole other story. She wants to. But one of the things about Mary is she has been the backbone of our church, Universal Church of the Master.
Yes.
She
Bravo! Bravo!
And, you know, every time she says, well, but you know, I'm retiring. And then the next thing I know, Mary's got something else. It's wonderful because it keeps that spirit, that light, and that energy in the church, and we really do appreciate it. We don't want you to ever leave, Mary. We don't want you to ever retire. We love your energy so much. Thank you. And for those of you who didn't know, that the opening prayer was done by the president of the
current president.
Yes.
And we have people in the house who have been on the board of trustees. The UCM is in the house today, so we really do appreciate that. Reverend Mary Garry is not from California, which, you know, how many of you were born in California? Yeah, it's getting more these days, but it used to be, you know, mine was the only hand. Janet and I were the only two that could say yes. But you know, when you complain about our state, go home. Yes. Seriously, go home. You know, we were here. We were born here. We couldn't tell where we were going to be born. But don't complain. Work with us to make this a gorgeous, wonderful state we know it can be. Because that's one of the things about California. We've always been accepting of people and said, hey, where are you from?
It's why California is so successful.
That's why California is so successful. We're loving and kind and supportive. And so we don't want to hear you grumble. Okay, do we have a pact today?
Yes.
No grumbling about...
High five!
High five, high five. No grumbling about the traffic. No grumbling about your next door neighbors. No grumbling about the weather. No grumbling about politics. No grumbling day, okay? Can you do that for one whole day?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We can do it. One day.
Cheryl, take him out and spank you.
Hey, we'll each take a turn. You spank me, I'll spank you.
If you're complaining about the weather, talk to somebody from Minnesota.
Really? What about your stomach grumbling because you're hungry?
No general grumbling about anything today, okay? And I'd like to please put your hands together to welcome the wonderful Reverend Mary Garry. Now, we have cords back here that you wouldn't believe.
I'll try and be careful. I'm not sure I shouldn't sit down now while I'm ahead.
Okay, you got until 20 after. Can you see the clock from here?
Yes, I can.
Good. And if you quit early, that's okay, I'll tap dance.
That possibility.
I want to see that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
Do you want to take the mic?
No, I don't. I'm just going to be here for a minute, and I'm going to sing, and we're all going to move. And I would ask Kathy and Janet and April, would you come up? Sure. And I'll tell you why we do this.
Whoa, that sounds...
One of the things that is most important to me about my sharings here are the connections that I make with the community as I share. And so April taught me this little song 1,000 years ago when we were young, huh, April? Yeah. Kathy is my compadre, and Janet, we all know Janet. So this song is a song that I want you to incorporate into yourselves. I sing it every time I come to speak, so most of you know it. It's a simple song.
We sing and cry, yeah.
But it really is designed to make you know who you are and know that you're so lovable. I thought our wonderful president had given most of my talk when she came up and did her opening prayer. And then that had been left behind came out in the music. I mean, it was just wonderful. But we're gonna sing it once up here, and then we'll sing it as we walk through. And there are people that we touch you. If you don't want to be touched, just turn away. But we don't, I mean, we just touch you to make that connection. Okay?
You want me to start it?
Yeah.
Or Janet, you want to start it?
No.
How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Okay, now I'm being good, right behind
You're watching the book.
right behind the thing. You know, you always have to wonder, when I come up with books and papers and stuff, you think, now this is Hillary going to be one of her good ones, or what, who knows here. But I forgot my hearing aids. For those of you who don't know me, I'm significantly reduced hearing. And I never forget my hearing aids, but I forgot them. So I have to assume they want me to stay out of the way. So if that happens, you're and they want me to stay out of the way. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today, that everybody has been talking about, and wonderfully, is the energy that takes place at this time of year. I mean, just think about all the things that are consolidated into December. I mean, on the 12th is the my patron, the Lady Guadalupe, and it is her feast day. And she is the feminine embodiment of the God source on these to both North and South America.
That's right.
She is one that even people who scientists, and I love them, scientists, we would not be doing a lot of things we're doing without the scientists, but they always say to me when we're having these discussions, you know, your magic is just something we haven't figured out yet. Okay, good, keep figuring it out, and I'll keep having magic and it'll all work out fine. And as much as they try, they can't figure out the power of the implant of the face of the mother onto Diego's pima. Diego is the man that he found, and so, you know, I love her to bits. What can I say? She's my mother. December 11th. December 12th, Patricia Cotter-Robles. Many of you know Patricia Cotter-Robles. You'll be pleased to know, I love Patricia Cotter-Robles, but you know, she sends you a note and it's 3 pages. So I tried to kind of consolidate that. I mean, she didn't send me any personal notes. They go out with the group, you know, they all get it. But she said it is not by accident that December 12th is a day of celebration that turns humanity's celebration to the divine. And she talks about the feminine nature of God. And then she said numerically, Lynn Rogers isn't here today, but numerically, December is the 12th, and 2019 is 12.
Yeah.
So we have 12, 12, and 12.
Wow.
And she said that that is an awakening of our own DNA for changes that will take place in the next decade.
Well, that's coming right up. Thursday, right?
We are ready for that.
Woo-hoo.
And if the mother and Patricia Cotter-Robles both say it's so, well, you have to trust me. We got the big guns up here. But then, you know, after that, you think, oh, well, it's over. Okay, no, it's not over. 21st is the solstice. It is the beginning. They talk about the power of the solstice. You know, I lived in the South for a little while. God gave me that for lessons. And they would, and one of the people in the South who we liked those people, but they had the darndest ideas. And they said, you know, I don't know why all these people are hogging up December. I said, all these people hogging up December? He said, yes, you know, they have this solstice and they have this Hanukkah. And they have this, and they have this Kwanzaa. You know, this is December. This is our month. I said, well, how do we figure that? If we figure who was here first, then you better take down your tree and put up your boughs because they were here long before we were. But what I really want to talk about is let's not get all caught up in who's it, you know. Let's think about the amount of energy that is circulating in the universe in this window of time.
Yeah.
And I think, now this is one of the things I feel, because one of the things I'm going to say is let's not think so much, let's feel more.
Yes.
Because that's when we get into trouble.
Yeah.
Is when, you know, there's no way we're going to think the same way about everything, and that doesn't matter. Everybody thinks their own thoughts, they pay attention to their own thoughts, they follow the direction of their own thoughts. But if we want to be linked, we have to feel, and we have to focus on feeling our love and commitment to humanity, whatever that humanity may think. Now, believe you me, I know that doesn't work well all the time, because my humanity and thinker are a big piece of me that I'm always spending time working on. So what I was going to tell a little story on myself. Tom always rolls his eyes.
Is he rolling his eyes again?
See him roll his eyes.
Right. My darling and I have been married for 47 years, so he's rolled his eyes a lot of times in his life. And he's still here, God bless him.
Hallelujah.
So we had friends came and stayed with us. The man in the couple and Tom have been friends for over 75 years.
Wow.
Can you believe that? You know, over 75 years they've been friends. And he came when our son died. He got on a plane and he said, I don't know what I can do out there, but I have to come. And he got on here and he looked around. He said, I don't know what to do here. I'll just put up shelves in your garage. And God, I love those shelves. Because, you know, that's what you say. I don't know what to do here, but what little thing can I do?
Right.
And he put up the shelves. So he's a wonderful friend. And they came out here and we were going to go to Windsor, to our timeshare up in Windsor, but they were on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were out here the week it was on fire. So we said, oh, we can't go to Windsor.
No.
First of all, the road's closed. Second of all, they might burn us down. We don't want that. So we said, well, we'll just stay here. So then I personally decided that it was my job, of course, to make it good because they weren't going away to a wonderful place. So I said, well, what would you like to eat? And he said, rack of lamb. I said, oh, Jesus. And I went and got rack of lamb. I cooked rack of lamb. I was wonderful, but I was exhausted.
Yeah.
File that away. That contributed. So we were, and they didn't get a car. We picked him up and took him everywhere. And so we were in the car, and he says, in his inside voice, he said, you know, oh, gosh, you Californians, I knew not to bring my red hat when I came out here, because I knew how y'all are about that. But he says, you know, I don't understand it. Trump has made the stock market go wonderfully, and everybody's retirement funds are up. I said, oh, how about the children in the cages? Do you think they think he's wonderful? And he said, well, that's ridiculous. That kind of thing happens all the time. That's been done before. And I said, probably not in my inside voice. I said, oh, is that the new rule? If any asshole has done anything they wanted to do in life, then anybody else can do it because that's the way it goes?
Bring on the lions.
So, then he raised his voice to his outside voice, and I could see my husband paling in the driver's seat, thinking, you know, she's driving, I can't strike her or slap her. And his wife was in the back, who is this sweet little Japanese gal from Japan, who was obviously mortified, laying in the corner with a sheet over her head. So we got into the house, and I slammed out the car. I said, we are not talking about this anymore. And this is ridiculous. I'm sorry it ever started. And not in my inside voice. And I can't even remember what he said, but I piled out of the car, ran in my bedroom, and shut the door, just like the grown-up girl I am. I'm sitting in the bedroom by myself, wondering, how the hell did this just happen? This is my husband's friend of 75 years. And we're screaming at each other about something that we will never change each other's mind on.
Right.
That's the point.
Right.
You don't change each other's thinking mind. So I came out, he came up, we hugged each other, I sniveled. We both said, you know, this is ridiculous. How could we do this to each other when we know that if we were in need, the other one would be there like a shot? People don't have to think the way you think. That's so hard to believe when we perfectly clear we're thinking the right way. You know? But they don't know that yet, and they're not going to learn it. And they're especially not going to learn it with your outside voice. I learned that. So what I wanted to talk about today is, what do we want to focus on? You know, how do you do it? What happens now? We're in the chute. That's what I used to call it. We're in the chute. From now until the 31st, when you stumble in at 4 a.m. and connect with the world all over again, you're in the chute. You're making cookies, you're making a meal, you're meeting with people. The friends that don't think the way you think may come into your life at this season, especially if they're family. Oh, that's the very best, you know, when your cousin from Poughkeepsie says, where's your red hat, Mary? You know, you could go downhill. Or you just say, I don't have it. You know, plan for it ahead of time. Say to yourself, when my cousin from Poughkeepsie says something really dumb, I'm just going to smile and blow him a kiss. And if I don't want to blow him a kiss, I'll just smile and send him one from here. Okay. If we don't think about those things ahead of time, sure enough, you'll be using your outside voice. So, okay. How are you going to do it then? People always say to me, I mean, I was, you know, Tom and I had services for 18 years, baby? Yeah, 18 years. And it was like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. He was the stable, calm, no matter what. People would give lots of talks, and sometimes we'd be sitting in the audience, and they'd give a talk, and I'd think, how in God's earth are we going to save this? And he'd just walk up there and put his arm around him and change whatever muddle they had given into just the perfect thing that people needed to hear. That didn't happen much with me. We had a lot of growing to do with Mary in those years. And, but he never lost his patience. He always had gratitude for, when we got married, the first night I met him, you know, the door opened, and I looked at this man coming in, and the voice in my head said, "It's him." That was 47 years ago. People gave us 6 weeks. But he always was able to hold, you know, sometimes he would have a student come that wanted to be part of UCM, and I'd say, "Tom, you're going to ordain him or her? Are you kidding me?" He'd say, "No, Mary. They stay with the teachings, they spend their time, they'll either come around and move into the energy we need for our church, or they'll move on. It just happens. Nobody will be ordained that is then going to go out and do something ridiculous." The process of holding people together into the understanding and the light and doing it it creates a change. You either like that energy or you move on. This is not what I wrote. But I said, how, Spirit, can I hold to the center, not fill my life with the tasks that require my brain to organize them? Like, certainly you have to do some of that. But if you allow that to be the consuming part of you, you lose what is so powerful in the energy that is flowing. Can you imagine if we could see energy for 20 seconds, what we would see in the month of December?
Right.
I mean, Hanukkah, the Jewish people, is a high holiday for them. Christmas, solstice, all of these, Kwanzaa, all of these people are saying, this is my time to connect with something more.
Right.
No matter what they call the something more. That's from up here. This says, I want to connect with something more. And so we have to be grateful. And I'm not going to talk too much about gratitude because you already heard it this morning. Thank you, Eileen. And that's wonderful. That tells us that we're connected. In this room, together, we're connected. Our hearts. So meditation is hard for me when I have my mind going so hard. So I said, well, what tool can I give them?
Yes.
That they can use? And I said, I know. The one thing that we have to do all the time is breathe. Breathe. So we say to ourselves, when you feel your outside voice trying to move into power, you just say, breathe. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Sometimes when I'm doing that, I take a deep breath in and I don't think about taking a deep breath out. Obviously you take a deep breath out, but if you don't think that you're taking a deep breath out, you're not releasing consciously the stuff that's building within you. So there are 1,000 things. I got this wonderful book for my birthday, and it has a breathe is the thing, and gratitude. And I said, is that timely or what? And then it has little vignettes throughout the book of things we want to be thankful for. How do we want to do all this? And it's just a small vignette. So for me, it's doable. But today, let's just concentrate on taking a deep breath in and letting it out. Take a deep breath in of the community of love and light that we have created here. In and out. Release the things you put in the bag as you came in. Release the anxiety or pain or discomfort. There's always going to be discomfort, but there's always going to be light. So we reach for the light and we encircle ourselves with it. And we ask that it mediate anything that we encounter be it relative or stranger. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and I thank you.